On 8 February, Venezuela's self-proclaimed acting President Juan Guaidó refused to rule out the possibility of authorizing United States intervention to help force President Nicolas Maduro from power and alleviate a humanitarian crisis. The Venezuelan military, which backs Maduro, barricaded its own side of the border, vowing not to allow the aid to enter. Maduro has consistently denied that a humanitarian crisis is happening in the country, blaming food and medicine shortages on the U.S. sanctions. But what has led to an opposition leader calling for a foreign country to intervene? The South American country Venezuela has been amidst a presidential crisis these past few years, and the situation has only heightened since the past 2 weeks. Originally beginning in 2010, under the presidency of former President Hugo Chavez, it has continued up into the current president Nicolas Maduro. During this time period, Venezuela has experienced an economic recession along with the highest crime rates, with death, hyperinflation and starvation rates tolling. U.S. sanctions on the country have also aided and worsened this situation. The opposition led by Juan Guaidó, the 35-year-old National Assembly leader, declared himself interim president on January 23 during a mass demonstration against the government. The outcome of the struggle will determine who controls not only Venezuela's government but also its proven oil reserves, which by some estimates are the world's largest. The world is in splits on their stance. Russia, in particular, has propped up Maduro's government with billions of dollars in loans, bodyguards, and Cuba has provided intelligence support. While Venezuela's poorest people may be suffering the most as the economy stagnates and institutions crumble, many remain loyal to Maduro as the heir to Hugo Chavez, the longtime socialist leader who commanded an enormous following. While China is neutral, it has affirmed its stance of non-interference in other countries. The Turkish President Erdogan backs President Nicolas Maduro, who is facing a growing political challenge. Venezuela's gold trade with Turkey is soaring as, since last year, the country exported almost $900 million worth of gold to Turkey, ostensibly to be refined there and returned to Venezuela, although there is no record of re-exportation. The U.S. along with Canada, Australia, Brazil, UK, France, Germany, Spain and other European countries have recognized Guaidó. The U.S. president has ruled out any negotiations while maintaining that sending the U.S. military to Venezuela was an option. In return, the Venezuela president, Maduro, responded by saying, "Stop. Stop, Trump. Hold it right there. You are making mistakes that will leave your hands covered in blood and you will leave the presidency stained with blood." It is difficult to know, but in the next few days and weeks, the impact of the United States sanctions will begin to ripple through the country. Fuel shortages are expected to start in the countryside and eventually reach the capital, Caracas, affecting the country's economy by interfering with people's ability to work and making food and medicine even harder to obtain. Countries opposing Maduro know that if he stays even after the pressure, he would stray away from these countries and the nation with the largest oil reserve would be out of influence. But if Guaidó gets elected, the U.S. will be able to stop the influence of Russia and the gold and oil will be in their control. In the meantime, an active-duty Venezuelan army colonel has dropped his allegiance to President Nicolas Maduro, backing opposition leader Juan Guaidó instead. A week ago, even the Air Force General Francisco Yanez also dropped his allegiance to Maduro. The military's backing is critical to the sway of power in Venezuela, as the fervor of the governments on this issue suggests an armed movement. But we hope that a peaceful solution is adopted and the loss of lives is prevented.